Pride, celebration as protest. Underneath the carnival atmosphere, there's anger and defiance, as across the world, LGBTQ rights are being pushed back.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, how are you?
On one weekend in June, I spoke to people at Pride events on 3 different continents.
I just want everybody to understand Pride is different for everybody.
Ever since the first Pride parade 50 years ago, the LGBT community has notched up notable victories, winning more rights and making life easier. But in recent years, there's been a backlash. Here in America, in Europe and beyond, new laws are being introduced that once again target the LGBT community.
This is St. Petersburg Pride, the biggest in Florida. This June, America's Pride Month has been stained by rising abuse and violence. Many events have been threatened. And 3 weeks ago, members of a far-right group were arrested on their way to a parade in Idaho.
We've worked very closely with the St. Pete Police Department. We have federal agents here. We have undercover agents here. We have a lot of security cameras. We feel very good that we are putting on a safe event this weekend.
Is that more security than you've had to have before?
It is more security than we've had before, but part of that as well is because we're expecting this to be our largest ever celebration.
Many people are here because of a backlash to a new Florida law that came into effect just yesterday. Known as the Don't Say Gay bill, it bans the discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in primary schools. And with Pride taking place after the Supreme Court decision on abortion, many worry that hard-won gay rights are next.
Our country's under assault, whether it's women, gays, black people. I mean, it's awful, and we got to turn it around. You know, we got to have all people respected.
The concern for mental health counsellors in schools is that the damage has already been done.
My heart was broken because we were making so much progress for our students, and now I feel like we're going backwards.
And what are you most fearful about the Don't Say Gay bill here in Florida?
We could see a spike in suicides, especially with our LGBTQ students, and it gets tough because they're like, if they come to me and they want to tell me what they're experiencing, what am I allowed to do to support that student? It's hard.
This seeming attack on liberal values here in America is also being felt abroad. This is Warsaw, the largest Pride in Central Europe, this year joining hands with Kyiv Pride. Less a parade, but more a march, an act of defiance against a government that in recent years has targeted this community, with some areas of this country unilaterally declaring themselves LGBTQ-free zones. Robert Couture left Poland 9 years ago and now lives in London. He had never felt safe to come out back home. Being gay just wasn't an option.
You see that?
I called him up from Florida.
Well, as you can see, I'm wearing pearls and knitted top and tiny shorts.
Robert was attending Warsaw Pride for the first time, a huge moment, and one that made him proud and hopeful.
I never had the guts to come back and actually march in it. It was so full of joy and like happy people, loads of queer people expressing themselves, and I just didn't expect that to be this powerful and this joyful.
I guess, does this show you, Robert, why Pride is still so important and why it's still needed?
Completely, yeah, because as I said, this is the moment where we recharge our batteries for a full year-long fight, you know, for our rights. People are coming from around Warsaw, from smaller cities, to come and join forces here in Warsaw, but then they go back to their small cities where they need this because they need to fight.
But remember that these celebrations would be unimaginable elsewhere in the world.
I'm so envious. For us, Pride is still a fight.
I'm talking with Trey in Ghana, where same-sex relations are still banned and a proposed law could even force gay and lesbian people to go through mandatory conversion therapy. Trey did hold a Pride event, but it had to be small and secret, and it was too risky for us to film. What would happen if you tried to have a big Pride march in Ghana?
We would have the police shut us down, and if we already got a consent of the police, we would have people from the public stone us.
But here in America and in many other, European countries, there's been a new backlash of new anti-LGBTQ laws.
It's not just the African queer person that is being targeted, but the queer people everywhere. It's really disturbing, but it also gives me hope. It also allows or lets me understand that queer people are the basis for disrupting the patriarchy.
And that's an international message from Ghana to Poland to back here in Florida, where the Russian activists Pussy Riot performed on the shores of Tampa Bay.
Cisgender, heterosexual men, I'm bored.
I'm from the country that kills people based on their gender and sexual identity, and I want to prevent it happening everywhere else.
Everyone, whoever they are, knows this fight is not over, and they can never be complacent. And that ultimately Pride does what it's always done, offers some light amid the darkness, a moment and a month for the community to feel safe and empowered.